Brain. Is it visible?
Not yet. Now it is visible.
Okay. Is it visible clearly?
No, you have to play the slideshow. You are not able to see the full screen presentation.
Now it's visible.
No, I think you have to share the entire first option. You have to select for the sharing. Which option have you selected while presenting?
Window.
In window, then the presentation goes into another window that you have to select.
Okay.
Otherwise, select the first option, your entire screen.
Okay.
It will be better.
Now is visible. Now it
Yes,
is.
now. Yes, yeah. Continue now. Yes.
Thank God. Okay. Today I'm going to present the comparison between Aphra Bhen and Jane Austen. We know that both are the women writers and both women writers belonging to the different century. So how Aphra Bhen's writing is totally different from the Jane Austen, and which way both are the writers wrote, and what kind of the style, what kind of the what kind of the imagination both are there included. So. First, we saw that Aphra Bhen belonging from the Restoration age, and we haven't idea about her particular year where she was born, what kind of the family background. But we know that she was a spy in some English monarchy. We can see that Aphra Bhen's character is very strong, and as a feminist perception of the view, Aphra Bhen is the most dominant character from her own time. Aphra Bhen is the first women writer of the Restoration age, and her character is more fascination because we can found that no any history book mentioned her name, especially Aphra Bhen and Mary Shelley. Both are the women writers. We cannot found any information about the history books. And then Jane Austen. Jane Austen belonging from the period of the that romantic age, and the period time was the 1775 to 1815, belonging from the romantic age, born in a Stevenston, and her life was so much not exciting, and especially she was living that particular area, and the residency including just the fashionable restoration resort of the Bath, and according to history, that Jane Austen had not gone for the any universities or any colleges for the study, and whatever she wrote from the particular area, and she wrote about the particular atmosphere, and just even a trivial issue like a love, marriage, families, works of the both Aphra Bhen and Jane Austen. Especially Aphra Bhen's most famous work is The Rover, Our Prince, or The Curious Husband, The Young King, The False Count, and Our Jane Austen. Jane Austen wrote these six most notable novels in the whole world. These six novels are majorly read and well-known novels, and and these are Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, Mansfield Park, and Northanger and Persuasion. And the most significant part, or the most a normal or a considerable part of the Jane Austen's novel, that at the end of the novel we can find so many marriages, and especially more than two marriages. If we are going with the story of Sense and Sensibility, we found that at the end of this novel, we found that our both protagonists, female protagonist, got married with both male protagonists. So it is the usual or trivial theme, but Jane Austen's writing style is very unique, and that is why till the date we are using to study Jane Austen in the same way Aphra Bhen. Aphra Bhen is, as Sir mentioned, that she is a Ekta Kapoor of our century. Like Aphra Bhen love to explore and traveling and doing something new things. So Aphra Bhen's life is full of thrill and romance and wandering and full of joy. Well, we are going with the Jane Austen's life. So there is, restoration period, and restoration period are full of exaggeration. Women's, especially women. So there are, and Jane's life is very, she not travel a lot, and that is why we can found not so many backgrounds in her novels. A biography of the boat writer, as we know that Jane Austen, so she was the daughter of clergyman, and her life was not so exciting. And Aphra Behn, so we have not proper idea, and that we know that she is a spy. A writing style of the both writer. So first we are going with the Aphra Behn. Aphra Behn is belonging from the restoration age, and her work, we can find the thrill and adventure. If we are going with the story of Rover, we find that there is the protagonist, and she is full of, she would like to explore and traveling and doing lot many things that disguise himself. And the same way we can found that some work of the Aphra Behn, we can connected her own character with her fictional character. So Aphra Behn was woman of liberty. She want to do, she really want to do. She never hesitate to what she want to do. She is a, if we are going with the feminist perception of the view, we can find that she is a, represent the fully feminist perception. She is a woman of thrill and romance. First woman writer who wrote something different. Okay, we can find that she is the first woman who wrote some different. That before the Aphra Behn, there is no particular women who write this kind of a writing. While we are going with the Jane Austen, we found that she belonged to the romantic age, and depict the reality of society. In this six major novel of the Jane Austen, we cannot find so many fancies, imagination, supernatural elements, like so many clowns and fools as Shakespeare depict. But we can find the reality of life, how people live that in particular area, and what is the situation of the women in that particular age or particular society, and what is the real perception or real thinking of Jane Austen, we can find in her own novel. And her writing style is fully simplicity. We can find only simplicity and writing style in her own writing. And especially when we read that old novels, we can find that she put stress on the theme of a marriage. And especially we are going with a novel, that novel, Pride and Prejudice, the beginning sentence. Okay, marriage is the universal thing. All men need a wife. So it is very significant quote. So this kind of that Aphra Behn and Jane Austen both are the very different from the perception. For the and we have found that so many movies adapted on the novel of Jane Austen, like a Sense and Sensibility. We have found the movies based on the Sense and Sensibility, also in a Pride and Prejudice, and both adaptation of the movies awesome, really awesome. When we look at that movie, we can connect it the real novel. And in a nutshell, in conclusion, in a nutshell, I would like to say um, the both opinion of Virginia Woolf and Charlotte Bronte. Virginia Woolf wrote about Aphra Behn, and Charlotte Bronte wrote about the Jane Austen. According to Virginia Woolf, all women together ought to let flowers fall upon the tomb of the Aphra Behn, for it was she who earned them the right to speak their minds. So Virginia will somewhere criticize the Aphra Behn. Aphra Behn wrote, if we are going with the biography of Aphra Behn, we can find that Aphra Behn wrote for the earning money. So somewhere Virginia Woolf criticized her, and Charlotte Bronte also do the same thing with Jane. That why do you like Miss Austen so very much? Jane Austen was a complete and most sensible lady, but a very incomplete and rather insensible woman. Though Charlotte says that there is no interest in the novel of Jane Austen. We can find there is the long and lengthy, novel of her, and there is no any kind of searching and suspense or thrill or any kind of that kind of a mood. We can feel that ab kya hoga, that kind of feel. So uh, both are the perception is very true somewhere. I was thinking, I would also going with both the perception. And I have cited the work that I have used the history of Edward Albert. Then I have used two or three some website like a Britannic and Literate for my presentation. And thank you. So it is my presentation about the Aphra Behn and Jane Austen. Both are the women writer. Both are the describe the feminist perception of the view. But if we are comparison the Aphra Behn and Jane Austen, we can found that Aphra Behn's character is the more strong or very stronger as Jane Austen, because Aphra Behn is the first women character who do or who write something different and specially write for the money or earning. She represents some differentness of the particular area. She create the new path, new way. So it is my presentation. Thank you.
Yes, questions?
Yes. Hello, Nidhi. Am I audible?
Yeah. Riti.
So my question is that why you choose the Jane Austen and Aphra Behn?
When search started the rover, from that day I have decided that I must use the evaluation Aphra Behn and Jane Austen, because Aphra Behn is like full of strength women, full of the women of the feminist perception of the view. She is a very strong. I'm not saying that Jane Austen is not strong as the feminist perception of the view, but somewhere we can found the superiority in Aphra Behn and some inferiority in Jane Austen. So especially if I'm going to evaluate and someone asked me, okay, who is the best? So I must say that Aphra Behn is the best.
Thank you, Nidhi.
You're welcome.
What is the difference between their works, Aphra Behn and Jane Austen?
Mm. We can if we are going to googling or we are going to searching, that we have found the Aphra Behn wrote so many works, and their work is full of full of fruit of flower, fruitful. We would like to read it. And so personally I would like to say that if we are going to read some Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, no doubt there is a some different to read. But Jane Austen somewhere is not very good for reading. Her novel is full of lengthy and full of description, and they wrote on a trivial theme. But yeah, Jane Austen is very good writer from the so many perception. But the difference of the work is connected with like we can use the term Renaissance here, and that Aphra Behn bring a Renaissance in the writing, while Jane Austen is going with the as usual form. So it is my